What's up everyone, it's HK Gaming. Today I have for you the update version of the Anomaly tanky supportive damage build. It will have around 200% of the damage bonus and will have a little bit more Anomaly power because we take out some of the survivability class point. Let's start off with the skill. We are using the same one as my previous video. Heat wave as one of our major way to do damage and apply the damage bonus. With only 5.5 seconds of cooldown and we have 2 heat wave. Thermal bomb, our major way to apply the damage bonus. We will have 2 thermal bomb, each applying 40% of extra damage bonus, and it will do a lot damage for us. The last one will be using the Ash Blast. It will give us a little bit CC and a damage bonus as well. But the most important part is that every time we use the Ash Blast, we'll have 45% extra Anomaly power. Not a single elite can stand a full combo. Now let's look at the class point. We are going for the Firestorm. It has a great survivability and we are doing just as much damage as the Tempest, which is the full Anomaly build. When you're playing solo, you can't really make mistake because when you die, you just start over. But if you're going for the Firestorm, you can be super reckless and still have no problem playing T15 in any expedition, including Eye of the Storm. Going for the Firestorm also gives you a way to tank the front line with those max health and cooldown. Even if you're playing multiplayer, you have no problems carrying the team through the expedition. We will mostly go for the Anomaly power and the extra damage or cooldown, as you can see. Like the extinction here, increase your damage by 20% against enemy below 30% of health, and the weapon damage and Anomaly damage by 5% here. Notice that I did not use the resistance anymore like my previous video because I found out that even without this kind of things, your survivability will still be absolutely no problem at all. Firestorm is just way overpowered comparing to the Ashbreaker and the Tempest if you're playing for the damage buff type of Pyromancer. The most important thing that we need for the Firestorm is to go up from here. The moment burn ends on enemies, infrared ash which is useless, weapon damage which is useless, but this one, activating your immobilize skill will increase your Anomaly power by 45%, and we can use the Ash Blast to give us that 45%. If you're going for the Tempest, you can't get this 45%. It's just way too many class points to waste on to get that 45%. So going for the Firestorm will be the perfect choice. Even if you are going for the Tempest, it will give you around 24 or 30% of the Anomaly power. That 45% is still much more than the Tempest. Not to mention that this distant frame will give us around 12.5% of the Anomaly power, because each one of this 10% health will give us 2.5%, and we have 5 of them. We lost a little bit of bonus damage against the marked enemy, but the extra Anomaly power and the things that enemies affected by burn receive 15% more damage, things like this will make up the difference, and we have a much greater survivability comparing to Tempest. This is by far the best way to spend your class point for this build. I do have a other way with another build. I'll be putting out that video tomorrow, but now let's just look at the weapon choice of this build first. We'll be using the Anomaly. First mod is the Morning Winds. Reloading will create a strong blast around you doing 400,000 damage. This is by far the best mod for this build. You don't even have to fire a single shot and it would do a crazy amount of damage. With the second mod that we are using, Fortress, we receive up to 43% damage bonus based on the armor. And this 43% of damage applies to everything. So like weapon damage or your skill damage, or even with the weapon mod which is the Morning Winds that we are using. So this will be the perfect combination for us. The second weapon that we are using is the Death Shield. Same reason, we will have the Fortress and the Morning Wind as the combination of the weapon. And for the pistol, I'm using the Clip Combustion with Morning Winds. It will do a little bit more damage when we're loading. I'm using this just because I can't get both Morning Winds and the Fortress in a pistol. This is the only choice to do a little bit more damage when we're loading. Now let's look at our headgear. I'm using the Akari set. Increase the width of the firewall, that's a little bit easier for us to hit the enemies. And I'm using the Captain Hunter as our second one. This will make sure that not a single elite can take one full combo. Upper armor piece, Akari set as well. I'm using the Blender as our first mod. Enemies affected by the skill receive 40% more damage. And the Tidal Wave. Heat Wave can be activated one more time before triggering the cooldown. The best thing is that this damage buff do stack up, so using 2 thermal bomb at the same target, the enemies will receive 80% more damage. And the thermal bomb goes super quickly, as you can see here. Just like this, and 80% more damage. And every enemy is damaged by heat wave will give us 50% anomaly power bonus for 10 seconds with that set bonus. Akari lower armor set as well. Anomaly Echo gives us extra firepower and anomaly power bonus on skill activation for 15 seconds, which is like a passive for us since we are using our skill to do damage and apply those damage bonus. The second mod, I'm using the Death Sentence. Your weapon damage and anomaly damage against enemy affected by the Ash Blast are increased respectively by 40% and 30%. With the Thermal Bomb 80%, that's 120% weapon damage for your teammate and 110% anomaly damage for you. This is a damage bonus that it will trigger just by using your skills. And for the gloves, you want anomaly power and cooldown reduction as your attribute. You want the Fire Frenzy as one of the mod. Thermal Bomb can now be activated one more time before triggering the cooldown. It will give us the extra 40%. And that Bullet Kindling do 20% more damage against enemies with burn. Our Heat Wave and Thermal Bomb can both apply that burn effects. It will be perfect for us, it's almost like a passive 20%. For the foot gear, you want the anomaly power and the cooldown reduction as well. And for the mod, enemies that take damage from the skill Heat Wave will now take 25% more damage for 8 seconds. Second mod is the Emergency Stance. Attempt golden protective effects for 4 seconds whenever your health drops below 30%. If you're very confident with yourself, you don't really have to use that Emergency Stance since we're going for the Firestorm already. You will have just enough survivability. Instead, you can swipe the Emergency Stance and change it with the Rider Wave. You can now use one more Heat Wave. Including the Tidal Wave, you have 3 Heat Wave that you can use. That's 75% more damage in total. With the 80% of the Thermal Bomb, it is 155% more damage. And with the Ash Blast that we have on our lower armor piece, it will give us 40% more weapon damage and 30% more anomaly damage. That's almost 200% bonus damage. You know what, it's best to just see yourself what this build can do. I've tested with the Eye of the Storm. I'll leave the gameplay footage at the end. Let me know what you think about this build in the comment section below. And I'll have another Pyromancer build ready for tomorrow. And that will be it for today's video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be making more gaming videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
What the? It's the leader of the Ferals.
What? But you killed him.
And I'll happily do it again.
Tear him apart, Outriders. For Yakub.
Yeah, and it talks.
Luketaru! Lukatarum! Ihmatuhum! Otarak! Dar ihe! Packer!
Outrider. My vision is getting worse.
Ikmatuhum! Kako iktarik!
We don't have time. We need to end this.
Irak! Kratar Irak! Ikmatu! Mairu!
Their leader is dead. For now. Jana, do you see anything?
I don't think so. But we're still alive, right?